Good early afternoon. We are live. I'm Andy Andrews. You've joined us on the Blue Plate Special here in beautiful downtown Orange Beach. We're in the financial district of Orange Beach, Alabama, in one of the skyscrapers. In fact, our Wisdom Harbor Studios are here, I think, at the highest point of Orange Beach, Alabama. We're on the second floor. And it's a pretty hot day. It is, in fact, it is really hot, but at least it's humid. So we're glad you're here today. We have a good show. We're going to explore some viewing habits. Have we got anybody joining us today? We got a bunch of people in the studio audience. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? So glad y'all are here. Everybody. All right. Terry Rowland from rain-soaked Tulsa, Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. I still think that is a weird thing for a football team to say. Boomer Sooner. Not nearly as classy as Roll Tide. Barbara Robertson Franklin. Hey, how you doing? And why is it so rainy in Tulsa? Every time I talk to somebody, they say, yeah, it's been raining. But that could be just a coincidence of me, the timing. Marcy Croster Taylor, good morning. Beautiful day in Richland, Washington, high 80s. You're helping your eldest grandson move to his apartment. And Marcy's only 28 years old and helping her grandson move to the apartment. Karen Hankins, hello. Hello. It's been raining a lot here lately. We've got a place that the boys and I like to fish, but you can't fish when it's flooded. And we haven't been fishing there all spring or summer. It's been flooded the whole time. Kayla, hey, how are you doing? 1965 Roll Tide Roll. Now, what does 1965 have to do with you?
It's just their username, IKD1965.
That's their username. I was trying to think who was playing in 65. I think it was Joe Namath. I think. Joe Namath was one of 3 people that Bear Bryant kicked off the team and took back. Only 3. Joe Namath, Kenny Stabler, and Rich Wingo. They're doing English from the great state of Texas. Lucy Young, good day. Texas won the Women's Softball World Series. So they had a great pitcher. I wish I could think of her name. I think it was like Teagan or something like that. Chris Henry from Pennsylvania. Brenda Kuntz from Dyersburg, Tennessee is watching today. Where's our out-of-the-country people? Where's the Guam people and the El Salvador people? Ron Kerner, how are you doing? We also have people watching from the Pentagon today. They grab an office and eat lunch and watch this. You'd think the Pentagon have something better to do than watch me goof off, but we're glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about television states. I just got interested in this. I was talking to some friends about, what they watch. They're from different places. And I even got, I can't remember what it was, but I even heard the name of a couple of shows that I don't even know what they are. I never even heard of them, and they're evidently the favorite shows of the state. But first I want to find out how much time is spent watching television in every state. Did you know you can find that stat? They are, whoever it is that filters all that stuff and averages it actually knows approximately how much. Well, they've got it exactly, but I'm saying approximately because they couldn't have gotten everybody, could they? But these are the top 10 states on time watching television. And this is daily, okay? West Virginia is number 1 at 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 54 seconds a day. Yow. Now, you know, when you hear West Virginia watches that much, I know what you're thinking. I mean, I just know what you're thinking. Yeah, I mean, just like me, you're thinking, yeah, well, West Virginia. But second on the list is Delaware. Delaware at 3 hours, 47 minutes, and 9 seconds a day per person in Delaware. Louisiana, I kind of see this. I don't see Delaware, but I can see Louisiana, 3 hours and 41 minutes and 20 seconds a day. Oklahoma is 3 hours, 36 minutes, and 34 seconds a day. Nevada, 3 hours, 34 seconds, or 3 hours, 34 minutes, and 53 seconds. North Dakota, 3:34 and 29 seconds. Now, these next two, I'm surprised they aren't higher on the list, Mississippi and Alabama. But Mississippi watches 3 hours, 29 minutes, and 23 seconds. Alabama, 3 hours, 27 minutes, and 25 seconds. Georgia, 3 hours, 26 minutes, 29 seconds. And Arkansas, 3 hours, 24, and 52. All right, now, let's go around. Back that up, Matt. I want to back it up. I want to see the names. All right, I'm just counting some. There's West Virginia, Delaware, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Nevada, North Dakota, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas. Do you know what 7 of the top 10 have in common? You do? What do you think? They're all SEC states. So, football, sports. I'll bet you anything when we get down to looking at what is it that they watch. I'll bet you, because, in Alabama, if you're not from Alabama, this is something you should know. If you move to Alabama, somebody will almost immediately ask you who you're for. And you'll go, well, what? Are you for Alabama or Auburn? Because in this state, you got to be for one or the other. I mean, it matters to these people. And so you wonder, why would that matter so much? Well, in Alabama, there are no professional teams. It's college. It's college football. And college football, 365 days a year. I mean, I guarantee you can open up any local newspaper and see a football article about Alabama or Auburn every time. And if you go on AL.com, there's something. I mean, because they're either recruiting, they're in spring practice, they're signing people, they're on vacation. I mean, they'll even report on that. And then the games are going, and it's 24/7, 365 here, Alabama, Auburn. So what did that say? Did that say, oh, Dave Larder, you enjoyed the professional noticer this morning. Good, thanks. We had Little M and Briley on this morning that went out this morning. That was the podcast, the weekly podcast, The Professional Noticer. If you don't get the podcast into your inbox, just go on andyandrews.com and put your email address in there, and every Tuesday morning, the podcast will just automatically come to you. Okay, so now to what do states watch the most? What kind of shows do states watch the most? 10 states watch sitcoms more than anything else. Colorado, New Jersey, Wisconsin, Virginia, Oregon, Iowa, Nevada, Arkansas, Connecticut, and Alaska. Okay, that took one of the SEC teams. That took Arkansas. Now, I don't have very much respect for the states in this category that watch reality shows more than any other kind of shows. California, South Carolina, Tammy, our communications director, is in there. She's from South Carolina. All right, let's see. California, South Carolina, Kansas, Maine is big into reality TV, Indiana, Delaware, Arizona, Mississippi, and Montana. Okay, there's 2 SEC states in that. I wouldn't be very proud of being in that group. You know, I wouldn't be very, unless the only reality TV you're watching is Duck Dynasty, that gets a pass. The rest of them, Honey Boo Boo and all that crap, you know, that, yes. All right, here we go. Sports. 8 states watch sports more than any other. Texas, Ohio, Nebraska, Alabama, Oklahoma, Kentucky, North Dakota, and Idaho. Now, except for North Dakota and Idaho, Texas is a football state, Ohio's a football state, Nebraska, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Kentucky are football states, even though Kentucky could be termed a basketball state, but either way, it's sports, and I bet you a lot of that is coming through. A lot of that time is spent on ESPN or that kind of thing. Now, this one just totally baffled me. I can't even believe this was a category in what states spend most of their time watching. But 6 states, New York, Washington, Georgia, Utah, Hawaii, and Vermont, spend more of their time watching cartoons. Really? I mean, every now and then, maybe twice a year, Polly and I will sit down at the TV and turn on Bugs Bunny. But it's like twice a year, maybe once a year. Cartoons for 3 hours a day. Okay. News. I kind of get this, but I don't really respect it. But 4 states watch more news than anybody else. Florida, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Minnesota. So 4 northern states. Four northern states, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Florida. Those are 4 of the farthest north states that you can get, especially Florida. The farther south you go in Florida, the farther north you are. But I don't get why anybody watches that much news. I mean, we've already had so much established about how much they lie or, you know, skin things their way. All right, here is a category with 3 states. And honest to God, I did not know that this category was still in existence. But Louisiana, West Virginia, which those 2 are a lot alike to me, I guess. My Louisiana friends are losing their mind right now. But Louisiana and West Virginia and South Dakota, do you know what they watch more than anything else? Soap operas. Soap operas? Are soap operas even still going?
I guess.
I remember when I was in college, a period of time, and I must have been dating somebody or something to get hooked on General Hospital. But remember Luke and Laura? Remember Luke and Laura? And Christopher Cross, the guy who wrote Sailing and Arthur's Theme, even wrote a song about Luke and Laura. Luke and Laura, life don't cry. I know you feel it this way. Hey. Remember that? You don't. Well, you weren't even born, Matt. So, but Luke and Laura, and I remember when some person took over whatever town that was and had a freeze machine, and he was like a villain, like in Bond or something, and he was gonna freeze the whole earth, and Luke and Laura saved the day. How ridiculous that was. Lisa Fenimore, I'm an actress, and I recently had an audition on a soap opera, a brand new one. So, you were also shocked. Wow, well, I hope you get the part. And if you get the part, you got to tell us. You got to tell us so we can watch your soap opera. Okay, 2 states, Missouri and North Carolina. This makes some kind of sense. They are into cooking shows. I would think my wife would like to move to Missouri or North Carolina. It's like Saturday, there ain't nothing else that goes on our TV. I bet Polly gets her 3 hours a day average, all on Saturday. And I'm like, golly, don't make any of this crud they're doing. Okay, this one also, I had to look this up because New Mexico and Rhode Island. I get New Mexico. I don't really get Rhode Island. But New Mexico and Rhode Island, do you know what they watch more than anything else? Telenova. Now raise your hand if you know what that is. You do? Okay. I didn't know. It's Spanish-speaking soap operas. So New Mexico, I guess I can kind of see that. Rhode Island, the thing they watch the most is Spanish-speaking soap operas. Senor Luca, Senorita Laura. All right, 2 states, Michigan and Massachusetts, are into late-night talk shows. 1 state is into daytime TV. Now, what is that? Is it like Oprah or? What else is on daytime TV? I don't even know. I'm always here making TV. But Pennsylvania watches daytime TV. In fact, the news is just coming over my prompter that all of Pennsylvania is watching us right now, the entire state, and they're gonna watch even past our like 30 or 40 minute. They're gonna watch for 3.5 hours to get their full 3.5 hours today with Wisdom Harbor, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Number 1 state watching documentaries is Wyoming. Now, why would I think here's 2 questions. Why would I think documentaries would go to Wyoming? Or why would I be surprised? And the second question I have is, why do I think that? Because I guess I don't think of Wyoming as a smart state. Boy, we're going to have somebody say something about that. But I mean, I don't see Alabama as a smart state either. I mean, Alabama, you know what our educational motto is? Thank God for Mississippi. That's it. Okay, Tennessee, is that our last state? No, Tennessee, I am kind of surprised about this for Tennessee, but Tennessee watches game shows. I guess you come home, watch Jeopardy, and then go on the Game Show Network and watch Match Game and Tic-Tac-Doe. Game Show Network even has old reruns of Let's Make a Deal with Monty Hall. Let's see what's behind door number 2. Carol Merrill, show us. And I'll give you $100 if you have a boiled egg in your pocket. You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you, Matt? You don't know who Monty Hall is, do you? Monty Hall's wardrobe provided by Botany 500. Does that help? You remember who did Tic-Tac-Doe? Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale. And did you know, yeah. And did you know that he has a son who is a college coach, and his name's Wink Martindale? So Illinois, they watch more, they're the only state that watches more children's programming than anything. Okay, so there you go. Now, I thought this was interesting. I looked at the whole list, and it scattered into so many different things that I thought I would just give you the most popular sitcoms by state. The states that watch sitcoms, what is it that they love? Okay, and so I was a little bit surprised by Alabama, but I was also surprised that Alabama is linked with Delaware and New Hampshire. What do you think Alabama would love that Delaware and New Hampshire loves? The Office. My boys love The Office. Polly hates it. Just hates it. And she, when they were living at home, and that music would come on, she'd hear it from the back of the house. You know, turn that music down. Turn that down. Stupid show. And Dwight just infuriates her. But more than Dwight, Michael, the main character, she hates Michael. I think if she saw the actor who played Michael, she would probably just like slap him. In Illinois, Roseanne. Hadn't that been off the air for 50 years? You know what I think of every time I think of Illinois? I'll tell you what I think of every time I think of Illinois. I think of Chicago. And you know what I think of when I think of Chicago? I think of the airport, because I've been in it so many times. But you know what I think about when I think about the airport in Chicago, Illinois? Back in the 80s, I was doing a lot of colleges, a lot of college concerts, and I was traveling everywhere, and they would have, the USA Today was really popular then, and they had a page in USA Today's first section that had something from every state. Every state would have some little blurb, and the blurb about Illinois was that Chicago's O'Hare parking decks had just been automated. And when they were automated, they immediately began taking in $60,000 more a day than when it was just people doing it. Can you imagine people stealing $60,000 a day out of that airport? But I'll never forget that. California and Connecticut. What would they have in common? Don't say it. Their most popular TV show is The Big Bang Theory. You know, Sheldon Sheldon has become a descriptor for people. You know, you see people sometimes that are kind of that little neurotic thing, and people will go, you know, he's like Sheldon. And everybody knows what you're talking about. Do you know that the producer of The Big Bang Theory, his favorite television show of all time was The Andy Griffith Show? And when he created Big Bang Theory, he has some nods to the show in there. The producer of the Andy Griffith Show was Sheldon Leonard. And who are the main characters of Big Bang Theory? Sheldon and Leonard. And if you remember on Andy Griffith, Howard also lived alone with his mother that you never saw. How about that? In Indiana, Parks and Recreation hold the title as the most popular TV show. I like that show. I like Parks and Rec. I think they pretty much nailed that weird dynamic down. But anyway, in Colorado, the most popular sitcom is South Park, which I guess I don't really see that, but
South Park is in Colorado.
Oh, it is?
So
they like it because is it because there's a cartoon about their own state?
I didn't say it was smart.
Somebody in Colorado's been smoking dope. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? In Mississippi and North Carolina, can you guess what the favorite sitcom is? Now, this was done by looking at hours spent. I mean, they can record, like Netflix can record, and Netflix has this show, and so they can record how many hours people spend watching it. North Carolina and Mississippi still say the Andy Griffith Show. Still watch the Andy Griffith Show more than anything else. But you know, at my house, we watch 30 minutes of that every night because it's on like about 6 o'clock and we're making dinner and, you know, we put that on. And do you know that today, if the ratings, you know, they have the Nielsen's according to time viewing, and of course now that's all those algorithms are figured out now throughout the different streaming services and everything. But do you know that if the Andy Griffith Show was in modern ratings, was included in the modern ratings, they would be 60th in time spent watching, which, I mean, think about how many shows there are that are on the air right now. I mean, they're keeping track of 100, 150, but I started to say we would be 50th. I just love that show. And if you'll see over in the cabinet over here, you guys, when you get through with the show, you look, we have a lot of Andy Griffith Show memorabilia. We have what's left of Aunt Bee's China. We have Aunt Bee's Pearls. We have Floyd's Barber Brush, Briscoe Darling's jug. We have the telephone from the Taylor living room in season 1. We have the telephone from the Taylor's living room in season 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have one of the telephones they used in the courthouse, and they switch it back and forth between the courthouse and the hotel. And we have the telephone from Wally's gas station that Goober was on when Andy said, when I come there, if that car ain't out of that courthouse, I'm going to take that rifle down and I'm going to shoot you. It's just another thing that wouldn't be on today. Jay Seal says, I watch Andy every morning. Best show ever. I agree. Even though I have to say, in my mind, if I'm really honest, I think MASH might edge out the Andy Griffith Show for just, I don't know, being, and maybe it's because the Andy Griffith Show's 64 years old. I mean, 64 years old. But the fact that it's still relevant, that people still watch it and like it, that just says a lot for the show. But, you know, MASH is 40 years old. I mean, where has the time gone? I was 16 years old last week. And look at me now. I'm old. Okay, this is the last one. And I saw this and I had to include this. This is not a sitcom that this state loves, but there is a lot of irony here. Just a lot of irony in the fact that Florida's most popular TV show is The Walking Dead. I just think that is hilarious. The Walking Dead. We have some of them come through here every winter time, you know. But we have the snowbirds, obviously here, but we have the poor snowbirds. We have the ones that can't afford to make it all the way to St. Petersburg. They just kind of stop here. But they're smart. Our snowbirds are very smart, because you have to be smart to figure a 3% tip in your head like that. Okay. Well, that's it for Tuesday. Somebody, who is that? Ron Kerner. Wholeheartedly agree. Andy Griffith and MASH are the best. Yeah, I'd be hard picked to, MASH and Andy Griffith kind of interchangeable there to me, but I would be hard picked to tell you a number 3. I think the original Bob Newhart show, the original Mary Tyler Moore show, Odd Couple with Jack Klugman and Tony Randall, Hogan's Heroes. I mean, Hogan's Heroes is on MeTV every night, I think at 9. And when you realize when that show was done, it had to be controversial. In fact, I want to find that out. It had to be controversial because it was 20 years before that all that was going on. I mean, for real. So, I don't know. Betty Ayers says it's very interesting. Dina Kilpatrick said she traded her television, regular television, to go back to her childhood favorites. We have to, you know. Dina says she reads, does music, nature. Of course, she likes listening to a live stream or two. Like here, we see you twice a week on here, Dina, so we appreciate you joining us. On Hogan's Heroes, remember LeBeau, the Frenchman, the little Frenchman? And do you remember General Burkhalter, who was the very fat guy? Both of those guys were in concentration camps for real. Both of those guys have number tattoos on their arm. And so I think that had to be part of their defense, you know. Hey, if these guys don't mind, why do you mind so much? I can see that. But Tony Randall and Jack Klugman, they just were the odd couple to me. And the greatest episode of that is the match game episode. Just watch it sometime. WKRP in Cincinnati, another good one with the greatest Thanksgiving episode ever. You can go home today Or you can, when this is over, you can go on YouTube, put WKRP in Cincinnati Thanksgiving episode, and you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. I'm daring you to find any show that's as funny as that one. It's the best Thanksgiving episode of all time. And my sister even gave me a T-shirt with the tagline on that, where she gave me the T-shirt that says, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." I mean, it makes me laugh just thinking about that. But that's great. I'll tell you a show you hadn't thought of in a long time. Love American Style. Have you even thought about that? How'd that song go, Matt? Matt don't know. Matt's like a puppy. You're 33, right? 34? Wow, you're older than Jesus.
That's right.
Wow, 34. But he still doesn't know who Donnie and Marie are, or the Osmonds, or, you know, every day I'll find out somebody else that Matt doesn't know who they are. It's like, good grief. But you don't remember, let me see if I, Polly says that I have been cursed to remember everything I've ever heard or seen in my life. And depending on whether you think that's a curse or not, I agree. I have. Polly will say, "How did you remember that?" And I don't know. So let me try. Let me see if I can remember the song from Love American Style. Love American Style, truer than the red, white, and blue. Woo, woo, woo. Love American Style, that's me and you. And on a dawn's early light, my love comes to you. I will put my head on your shoulder. And when the dawn turns to light, my love comes to you. I will defend your right to fly. Da-da-da-da, love American Style, truer than the red, white, and blue. Woo, woo, woo. Love American Style, that's me and you. Thank you. Thank you. John Miller says, hope to watch you again on Wednesday the 25th on the Rick Burgess Show. Yep. Rick was a member for 22 years at Shades Mountain Baptist Church. Do you know that my dad was the minister of music at Shades Mountain Baptist Church for 4 years when I was in high school? But yeah, it's the 25th, Wednesday the 25th, that I'll be on the Rick Burgess Show again. And if you're not familiar with that show, that is the funniest daily morning show that there is. And it's on 70 radio stations around the nation, but it's also on Sirius and it's on iHeartRadio. You can get the iHeartRadio app and watch it. And Rick and his wife Sherry just were here Friday. In fact, next Tuesday, the what do you call the podcast that we did will air. So Rick came down and did a podcast, and then he recorded, was it 4 Wisdom Harbor pieces?
Yeah, four or five.
Yeah, 4 or 5. And so Rick he's joined the contributors of Wisdom Harbor. Rick is such a good guy. He has a new book out right now called Men Don't Run in the Rain. And it's a book about his dad. And I listened to it on Audible. I read it, then I listened to it on Audible. When I listened to it on Audible, Rick is reading it. I laughed out loud 10 times. I mean, I'm just right by myself in the car, and I laughed out loud. So Men Don't Run in the Rain. It's a great, great book. Kevin Perkins says, okay, now, yeah, your memory's great. Now, where are your car keys? You're right. I don't know. Terry Lundy, growing up, you loved the Lawrence Welk Show and Hee Haw. Boy, there's 2 ends of the spectrum, isn't it? That's 2 ends of the spectrum. And now here's the Bobby and the Sissy with the song from WWI. And then you got Gloom, despair, and agony on me, deep, dark depression, excessive misery. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Gordon Peterson, hi from Clear Lake, Iowa. Oh, Bonanza and Gunsmoke. Let me tell you about Bonanza right now. On MeTV, Bonanza comes on in the evenings after the Andy Griffith Show, because they air 2 MASHs, then 2 Andy Griffith shows, then Bonanza. And can you believe Bonanza comes with warning labels now? Warning, the scenes you're about to see are, not approved of, or, they're, I mean, you got warning labels for Bonanza, for God's sake? I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe it's Hop Sing. Maybe they didn't like Hop Sing being a domestic. Hop Sing was but how do you think Hop Sing's getting rained on? Hop Sing's bossing all of them around. No, you don't eat that. No, you give me that now. I mean, so is it Hop Sing? Is that the problem? I don't know. In Gunsmoke, did you know that James Arness was 6 feet 8 inches tall? And his brother was the guy on Mission Impossible, Jim, who had to be told every single week, if you get caught or killed, we don't know who you are. I mean, he could never remember that. They had to tell him every week. What other shows? I'm running out of time, but I'm into this topic. I'm into this topic of television shows. We've got some I Love Lucy memorabilia here that I got just because I could get it. And I know it's a famous show. I was never really a Lucy fan. Francis Adams Dredden says, Golden Girls from Pace, Florida. Now, Francis, are you from Pace, Florida? Or are you saying the Golden Girls are from Pace, Florida? I think the Golden Girls were from South Florida, which makes them Northerners. But I did like the Golden Girls. But did you know, in the Golden Girls, the mama, the lady who played the mama, she was younger than B. Arthur when they did that. On Bonanza, they punched out stupid people. Kevin Perkins says that. Well, that's true. And, of course, you punch out stupid people, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. Do you remember the Pete and Gladys show? No? Do you guys remember? Anybody? Nobody remembers that. We think you made it up. The Pete and Gladys, we think you made that up. Kevin Perkins says Rat Patrol. I remember Rat Patrol. Remember 12 O'Clock High? And what was that? Sea Hunt. Sea Hunt. Yeah, Rat Patrol, 12 O'Clock High, and Gomer Pyle USMC. Those were a lot alike. A lot alike. All about the military. My Three Sons. Yep. Chip, Ernie, My Three Sons, Ponderosa. I did everybody has a claim to fame in their family. Everybody has a claim to fame in their town. I mean, you go to I don't care what town you go to, somebody go, see that McDonald's over there? They sell more French fries than any other McDonald's in a comparable size town. You go to Dothan, Alabama, we're the peanut capital of the world. You go to Gaffney, South Carolina, you know we're the peach capital of the world. You know, Chilton County may have a peach water tank, but we're the peach capital of the world. You ever seen that peach water tank? I mean, coming from one way, it looks like a peach. It has the leaf on it, but coming from the other way, it looks like a big butt on a stick. It's the right color. It's got the crack right down. I mean, it's a butt on a stick. And I wonder, somebody chose that. You know, somebody said, and did they only look at it from one angle? I don't know. Nancy Bergeron says, Taxi. I did like Taxi. Marcy Taylor, Laverne and Shirley. I did not like Laverne and Shirley. I was not a fan of Laverne and Shirley. It's just like too stupid to me. Just too stupid. The Big Valley, yes, with Heath and Barbara Stanwyck, and I forget the girl's name. It was Linda Evans, but I can't remember what her name was on the show. Kevin Perkins. Well, Kevin's my best friend, so of course he would be doing ones that I like. But yeah, Baa Black Sheep. Remember that? I used to watch that show. Then I showed up one time at a thing that General Schwarzkopf was having down in Florida, and he had invited me, and he invited the guy on Baa Black Sheep. Who is he? Robert. You know who I'm talking about? Little bitty guy. It's always like, and he did a commercial with a battery on his shoulder. Go ahead, knock it off. I dare you. I mean, and he always played these like tough things. And when I met him, General Schwarzkopf introduced me to him. What is his name? But Andy, this is, and as God is my witness, that guy was this tall. He was like, I wanted to say, hey, buddy. Yeah. Go ahead, knock off that battery. Janet Wicks, Petticoat Junction. Yeah. Come ride this little train that is rolling down the track to the junction. Petticoat Junction. Little dinner bell just a ringing like hell at the junction. No, they didn't say that. But that would have worked. Dave Timmons, My Little Margie. I don't remember that. Dave, you're a lot older than I am. Shanda Danner, you watch Adam 12 every day? Yeah, we used to do that when I was in grammar school. One Adam 12. See the woman, code 3. Beverly Hillbillies. The old ones are really good. The old ones are, because the old ones are, I think, what the idea was, that they take these people out of one situation, put them in another one where they have no reference for anything, right? Remember the first one, the doorbell rings, and Jed goes, let's walk over here. Every time that bell rings, somebody comes to our door. So let's walk over here and see who's at our door. And I think it was in the pilot episode, when Jed found oil and he was going to the bank to get his deal, and Granny said, well, don't let them gyp you. Just don't let them gyp you. And he came back and he said, well, they paid me in a new kind of money. She goes, what new kind of money? He said, I've heard of silver dollars and I've heard of paper dollars, but they's paid me in this millions dollars. She goes, Jed, you've screwed up. You let them take you. Father Knows Best, Donna Reed, Francis Dredden, yep. Marcy Taylor, Star Trek. I never was a big Star Trek person. Never was. Robert Conrad. That's who it was. Robert Conrad. Go ahead. Knock this battery off the shoulder. Why am I doing that little person voice? I think because he was kind of little. Go ahead. Dark Shadows. You're watching Dark Shadows on Netflix right now. Loved it after school. Polly would come home. And I was covering Polly up the other night, going to bed. And she said, "Get it up around my chin." "Oh, well." Pushed it around, she said. And I said, "You don't want Barnabas to get you, right?" She said, "Right." She said when she was a little girl, she'd watch Dark Shadows, and when she'd go to bed, she'd put the covers all up around her chin so Barnabas wouldn't get her neck in the night. The Brady Bunch. Yep, here's the story. Tina Kirkpatrick, anybody remember Benson? I do. You remember Benson with Robert Guillaume? The Wild Wild West. Never really watched that, but that was Robert Conrad too. The Honeymooners. Man, we got some really old people watching this. The Honeymooners. But I do remember that. Did you know that the Flintstones was kind of it was the Honeymooners. That's what it was. And then they did the Jetsons, totally off the Flintstones, and just made everything the opposite. His boy, Roy, Jane, his wife. Okay, this is enough. I have bored you people enough today. Give me one more. Just give me one more show that I liked, and I'll be happy to leave. Just give me one more. Alias Smith and Jones. Remember that? Alias Smith and Jones. Ellen Havlick says, don't forget Northern Exposure. Yep. And I'll leave you with this one. Polly and I are watching something right now on Prime. It's Acorn TV, but it's on Amazon Prime. And it's called The Brokenwood Mysteries. Have you seen it? There's 11 seasons. We're only on season 3. We're just watching it occasionally. But it's set in New Zealand, and it's a detective and his kind of Girl Friday and the guy that's kind of the comic relief. And man, I'm getting a bunch of them up here now. Gilligan's Island, Ernest Angley. Remember Ernest Angley? Ernest Angley was the guy that when Ernest Angley came out, every comedian in the world started doing an impression of Ernest Angley. They wouldn't necessarily say it was Ernest Angley, but when they were going, "Hello, friends. Welcome to the International Church of Pancakes and Discount House of Worship." When they would say something like that, that was Ernest Angley. You know, my dad was a minister, and we'd come home on Sunday night, and my dad would race home to see Ernest Angley, just laughing himself out of his recliner. I never will forget Ernest Angley, and he would go, "Welcome to the Grace Cathedral in Akron, Ohio. That's Akronohio." But we watched one night, and I'm telling you, this happened, okay? He did the healing stuff on somebody, and it had no effect. You know, they limped on, and then they limped off. And he looked right at the camera, and he went, "Well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't." Wagon Train, Sandra Gray Bagwell, Hazel, I do remember that, Mr. B, Starsky and Hutch. Every time I watch Starsky and Hutch, I want to, instead of running around the car, I want to slide across the hood. Remember he would do that in the opening? Gilligan's Island. Yes, sir. Bewitched. Well, that's Polly's favorite show. But I got to tell you, there's two different Bewitched to watch, and that's with the first Darren and with the second Darren. I am a first Darren fan. I do not like the second Darren. The first Darren was sweet. He was befuddled. The second Darren was smarmy and obnoxious. And he seemed mad all the time. So, we are a first Darren family. Yes, Kevin Tim Perkins. I used to do an impression of Ernest Angley too, and I would say, for every $10 contribution, we will send you our Budweiser prayer cloth. Compliments of the Grace Cathedral in Akron, Ohio. That's AKRONOHIO. We'll also send you our spread of dairy products with Gruyere, cheddar, and Mousson. We call them, they are from the Holy Land, and we will send you with the Budweiser prayer cloth this cheeses of Nazareth that we will send to you for every donation. Mod Squad. Man, we could do this all day. Melody Lewell, what's the name of the show you're watching and what streaming service, please? It is called The Brokenwood Mysteries, and it is on Prime. It's on Acorn TV, but streamed through Prime. Mork and Mindy. Shazbot. Family Affair. Buffy, Jody. God, I don't know how I remember all these things. Happy Days, yeah, Happy Days. You know, it's one of the weirdest things. It's like Luke and Laura saving the world from being frozen, that Mork and Mindy was a spinoff of Happy Days. Isn't that weird? Okay, well, that's it. We got people out here I want to come see, and people out there that need to come see us. So we appreciate you being here, and we'll see you on Thursday. Those of you who are subscribed to Wisdom Harbor get to watch on Thursday. And so if you haven't subscribed to Wisdom Harbor, come on. It's cheap, and you get all the stuff. So, Jerry Rowland, Rawhide. We're out of here. Hit 'em up, move 'em up, move 'em up, hit 'em up, hit 'em up, move 'em up, Rawhide. Bye-bye.